So all the best for them.
What about Manny and Barrios? What do you think?
Oh, it's gonna be a good fight. Always Manny Pacquiao bring all the best to make a good fight.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a young lion dares to challenge an aging titan? Do you believe experience can still trump youth when fists start flying?
I'm not training with the mentality, that I'm getting ready, to fight an icon, fight a legend. At the end of the day, he's just another man.
Conor Benn casts a skeptical eye on the upcoming clash between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios, and he isn't holding back. He sizes up both men, the seasoned legend and the hungry contender, peering beyond flashy promos to the real threat inside the ring. As Ben unfolds his verdict, expect barbs of wit, flashes of insight, and a raw honesty that spares no one.
I was trying to fight for my title. He's going in there trying to, take my title, and I got to do whatever it takes to make sure he does it.
Conor Benn delivers an honest verdict on Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. He's in for a shock. Conor Benn is keeping an eye on the upcoming clash between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. This is a controversial world title fight between a legend of the sport and a much younger man still in his prime. Pacquiao is now 46 years old and a veteran of 72 fights, 62 of which he has won, with 39 by knockout. He last fought in 2021 when he took a one-sided points loss to Yordenis Ugas, but has always spoken of wanting to return after a failed bid to compete in the Paris Olympics back in 2024. The former multi-weight world champion now comes back to challenge for the WBC welterweight title against Barrios on July 19th. Speaking to IELTV, fellow welterweight Ben admitted part of him regrets not chasing a world title. Then he reveals that he thinks Barrios is in for a tough night and that Pac-Man could get the win. The WBC title was very, very real, and part of me goes, I wish I fought for the WBC title, but ultimately you've got Barrios versus Pacquiao. I think Barrios is going to be in for a hard fight, to be honest. I think Pacquiao could win it. Whoever comes out on top, Ben will likely be looking to challenge them for the title sometime next year, assuming he comes through his own tough test when he rematches his longtime rival, Chris Eubank Jr. The fight is in September and once again up 2 weights from his natural division and comes 5 months after he was beaten unanimously on points back when they first fought in April. Conor's tone is equal parts respect and brutal realism. He acknowledges Pacquiao's legendary footwork, pinpoint jab, and uncanny ability to dig reservoirs of heart when the lights burn hottest. Yet he refuses to tiptoe around age. He pictures the legend slowing down, those famed shoulder rolls not quite as elastic, the snap on that straight left less crisp after decades of punishment. Ben points to rounds where Pacquiao looked sluggish against younger foes, warning that Barrios will pounce on any opening like a shark sensing blood. At the same time, Ben doesn't overhype Barrios as some unstoppable force. He describes Mario as hungry, confident, and armed with youth's boundless reserves. But hunger alone won't beat world-class timing or decades of high-pressure scrutiny. Conor suspects Barrios underestimates Pacquiao's ring IQ. He's seen opponents blitz the legend only to stagger under counterattacks that land like freight trains. Ben quips that Barrios better not blink or breathe too deeply. Pacquiao's counters are that sharp.
Face off over here. That was good. That was good. That was good. I was good.
Throughout the script, Conor peppers his analysis with playful jabs. He imagines Pacquiao strutting into the ring like a pop icon on tour, all swagger and nostalgia, while Barrios stalks like a coiled spring. He mocks pundits who declare the fight a mismatch, calling it lazy commentary when real nuances lie beneath. Ben insists that a fight between youth and wisdom should never be written off, pointing out how many young prospects throughout boxing history learned harsh lessons from grizzled veterans.
Oh, Eddie Hearn, Eddie, I feel like I need to go to you first. I just saw these two face off. What is going on here?
Oh, listen, we're talking. This is a fight I love. It's a legend of the sport.
Conor's verdict unfolds over vivid scenes. He conjures the opening bell, the crack of leather, the swirl of sweat and momentum swinging like a pendulum. He paints a picture of round after round. Barrios blitzing early, Pacquiao weathering the storm, then turning the tide with that left hand of doom. He imagines the crowd rising as each man digs deep, the arena crackling with tension that only a true world title bout generates.
Against one of the biggest young lions at 147 pounds. Sean Gibbons, our friend. Manny Pacquiao, it's an honour. if we could make this fight, we'd be very happy.
At heart, Ben believes this bout is a test of legacies. For Pacquiao, it's another chance to defy time, to rewrite narratives that whisper, retire. For Barrios, it's a golden ticket to greatness or a harsh reminder that legends seldom fall at young hands. Conor positions himself as both admirer and realist. He respects the spectacle but warns against romanticizing it. He predicts the fight will be a chess match masked as a brawl, with veteran guile gradually outpacing youthful vigor.
Here in Saudi Arabia, Wembley Stadium, we'll see, but we're talking, and as I said, I love the matchup. This guy, I believe, is the future at 147 pounds, and this man is one of the...
As the script barrels toward its finale, Conor shifts to his own ambitions. He admits a pang of envy for Barrios' world title shot and vows to chase that glory once he settles unfinished business in September against Chris Eubank Jr. He blends that personal stake with the Pacquiao narrative, reminding listeners that boxing's finest moments often spark new dreams in fresh fighters.
Biggest legends in the sport of boxing.
Okay, so let me ask him a question. Manny, honored to be here with you. Is this a fight that you are interested in, you versus Conor Benn?
Yes.
The ring's canvas never lies, and every boxer steps onto it with a story loaded in their gloves. Conor Benn paints that story in bold strokes, imagining Pacquiao's camp as a temple of tradition where every punch is a prayer to history. He pictures Barrios training in a modern gym, walls plastered with highlight reels and sponsored logos, where every jab is a TikTok moment waiting to go viral. The contrast fuels Benn's skepticism. Will old-school discipline stand firm against slick, social media-driven hype? He argues that fame built on likes can't replicate the steel forged in decades of true adversity.
I believe that he can give a good fight and we can entertain the fans. It's been a while that I didn't fight a young fighter.
The commentary shifts to tactics. Benn warns that Barrios must avoid chasing Pacquiao around the ring like a puppy chasing its tail. He insists that Mario needs a plan beyond raw speed. He must bait the legend, coaxing Pacquiao into overcommitting before ripping back with counters. Benn scoffs at predictions of a straight-line knockout, reminding listeners that Pacquiao's angles have felled far younger, stronger opponents. He foresees a chess match disguised as a sprint, where subtle foot pivots decide the day. Combat isn't won on bravado alone.
Fighter like him, so I'm excited for that.
How close is it to being done?
Well, I hope that we can get it done now before we go back.
Throughout the build-up, Conor highlights the mental game. He envisions Pacquiao humming ancient fight chants, tapping into a reservoir of faith and calm. Across the room, Barrios paces like a prizefighter possessed, replaying highlight clips in his mind and psyching himself up. Benn speculates this psychological tug-of-war will shape round one. If Barrios looks rattled by Pacquiao's aura, he'll limp into the mid-rounds. But if he stands tall, the crowd might tilt in his favor, injecting energy that a veteran can't mimic.
Yeah, it's surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. You know, he's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously...
Training camp tales fuel Benn's narrative. He pictures Pacquiao running pre-dawn trails in Manila, barefoot on dewy grass to build balance and grit. He contrasts that with Barrios hammering pads under neon lights in Los Angeles, ring announcers filming every punch for highlight reels. Benn doubts that high-tech bells and whistles can replicate the raw toughness gained in silent, solitary miles. He emphasizes that real fighters learn more from chilly dawn runs than from PR-driven workouts.
To create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and, you know, try his best. That's what.
As fight week dawns, the hype machine cranks into overdrive. Benn dissects every media appearance, pointing out when Pacquiao's trademark grin slips into steel-willed focus. He notes Barrios walking cameras with chest out, but warns that swagger can crumble under a veteran's precision. Benn urges fans to look past the sound bites. True insight emerges in subtle moments, like a clipped phrase betraying doubt or a flinch at a light. He lampoons talking heads who glorify style over substance.
One thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So, yeah, he's going to give it his all. Again, you can't be far.
On weigh-in day, anticipation peaks. Benn imagines Pacquiao stepping on the scale with a nod to tradition, saluting his corner before flashing that infectious smile. Barrios follows in designer sweats, headphones blaring modern beats, flexing for the cameras. Ben predicts the veteran's calm will contrast sharply with Mario's restless energy. He cautions that nerves can warp the mind and slow the fastest hands.
By the time it's hard, and it was very hard watching him fight Lucas, and you could see it. And then watching the exhibition he had with...
Game night arrives. Ben lays out his round-by-round blueprint. Early rounds to feel distance and timing, middle rounds to test defenses, late rounds to turn on the heat. He reminds viewers that experience often shows in seemingly small things: adjusting gloves, subtle feints, twitching ears when a power shot approaches. Ben scoffs at fans who reduce boxing to punch counts. He insists that rhythm and body language craft the real narrative.
The Korean guy or the Japanese guy in last year, it was hard to watch. I know Manny, I know the man that I was.
In the first round's opening bell, Ben expects Pacquiao to probe with that famous jab, testing Barrios' reactions. He predicts Barrios will respond with flush counters, looking confident but perhaps overzealous. Ben warns that eagerness can be poison when facing a legend who turns mistakes into weapons. The pace might electrify the crowd, but it risks draining Mario's tank before halfway.
And we can entertain the fans. It's been a while that I didn't fight a young fighter like him, so I'm excited.
As the fight unfolds, Ben shifts to pace management. He imagines Pacquiao taking half steps back, then unleashing lightning counters that exploit every overreach. He pictures Barrios throwing rapid combinations, only to find himself caught by a veteran's split-second shifts. Ben argues that Barrios' best strategy is to mix in clinches, breathing room to reset his mind. Too much freedom in the pocket invites old-school devastation.
Can we potentially see that fight down the line with you and you welcome a fight with Ryan Garcia?
He's a lot smaller than me. So it's like, yeah, the fights can be made, but after...
Mid-fight, drama peaks. Ben visualizes a moment when Barrios lands a flush right hand, sending a ripple through the arena. He suspects Pacquiao might dip dangerously low, but rebound with an even sharper left that turns the tide. Ben underscores how many legends survive dark moments to claim victory thanks to an old fight night ritual, a brief prayer whispered in their heads. He warns Barrios that humility in success can undermine confidence.
Would you want to fight someone like Ryan Garcia's a lot younger though, still, so I don't feel like Ryan Garcia would have any interest in fighting someone like me.
By round 6, fatigue sets in. Ben describes Barrios' arms hanging low, hesitation creeping into his footwork. He contrasts that with Pacquiao's kitchen sink work ethic: throw a punch, then another, never pausing. Ben highlights that the legend's pace, built over countless sparring sessions, could outlast youth's blistering early bursts. He predicts fans will marvel at Pacquiao's old man's strength, as if discovering a secret buried in history.
After the loss, because I'm probably one of the biggest names in Britain currently. So it's like, people raise his names to me. The Manny Pacquiao, they're chasing the fight with me.
In the championship rounds, Ben foresees the final act. He imagines Pacquiao stalking Barrios, cornering him in the ropes, punishing body shots draining Mario's reserves. Barrios might rally with desperation, summoning heart that earns respect but not enough to dethrone a king. Ben warns that this is the crucible where legends are forged. When fatigue blurs vision, only muscle memory and instinct guide the next move. As the final bell rings, both men stand bloodied but proud. Ben predicts the crowd will erupt in both cheers and tears, honoring the spectacle rather than choosing sides. He argues that boxing's magic isn't in victory alone. It's in witnessing limits tested and legacies defined. In his view, Barrios may walk away bruised, yet richer in experience, while Pacquiao etches another chapter into his myth.
I'm here to get the fight done, so we can fight.
Yeah, we're going to finalize it soon.
Where are we going to see you guys fight?
Post-fight, Ben shifts to aftermath. He sees Pacquiao limping into the press room, grin intact, but eyes gleaming with unspoken relief. Barrios enters with head high, acknowledging respect for a rival who refused to yield. Ben highlights that true warriors embrace both triumph and defeat, each teaching a lesson worth more than belts. He ridicules pundits who fixate on scorecards rather than character.
I hope he's here in
the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He's a legend of the game. You can't knock him for that. 8th Division World Champion.
Media cycles churn. Ben lampoons viral clips spun out of context. One moment framed as proof of Barrios' future greatness, another heralding Pacquiao's final curtain. He warns fans to demand substance over sensationalism. He applauds outlets that dive into punch stats, training anecdotes, and mental resilience instead of chasing clicks.
But it's my time.
Giving him a chance to have to experience like a good fight, and we glad to entertain people.
In the days that follow, boxing schools replay highlights for students hungry to learn. Ben anticipates young fighters dissecting every frame of the fight, seeking hidden insights into footwork and timing. He encourages viewers to do the same. Study the art, not just the spectacle. He contends that boxing thrives when fans become students of the sweet science.
It's my time, and youth is one hell of a thing. Everyone wants to see this fight. We can make this fight. I'm ready.
Conor's own future stakes re-emerge. He reiterates his vow to pursue a world title, now more focused having observed Barrios' triumph or trial. He envisions training camps fueled by lessons pulled from this clash. Refining his own craft for the night, he steps under bright lights again. Ben frames his journey as parallel to those he criticizes, a fighter seeking respect and results, not just headlines.
Manny Pacquiao wants the fight badly.
People love to see Manny in the ring, yeah. Conor, yeah. Two big names. Manny Pacquiao wants.
Across gyms worldwide, fighters draw inspiration. Ben predicts a surge of boxers embracing Pacquiao's timeless drills, early morning jogs, shadow boxing in quiet rooms, and rigorous sparring without cameras. He argues that true progress happens away from spotlights in the lonely minutes before dawn. Modern programs can't replicate that raw growth.
It's an expensive fight, and we're in talks with a number of countries to stage that fight at the moment.
Conor Benn back up and running June 3rd.
As social media calms, boxing's heartbeat remains strong. Ben celebrates how one fight can reignite passion for the sport, bridging generations. He cautions that this energy must be harnessed with respect for tradition, lest boxing become a hollow circus of trends. He urges fans to honor the past while embracing the future.
As the date we're working on our show in Abu Dhabi.
He's asked me to give him the biggest fight possible. And for me, that's Manny Pacquiao.
Finally, Ben circles back to bigger questions. What defines greatness? Is it youth's raw power or wisdom's measured precision? He insists that boxing's allure lies in its paradoxes: strength and finesse, fear and courage, legacy and aspiration. He invites each fan to decide which they value most.
Pacquiao's experience and skill are second to none, but Ben's youth and hunger could give him an edge in the ring.
I mean, he's still...
With the dust settling, Ben delivers a closing shot. This fight wasn't just about two men in a ring, but about boxing itself, its history, its present, and its unwritten tomorrow. He urges viewers to carry forward lessons learned, to celebrate both veterans and newcomers, and to remember that every punch jotted in record books began as a heartbeat of human spirit.
Feels he can do it at the highest level.
How close is this Pacquiao then?
It's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
Ready to go.
Never stopped training. He plays basketball.
The dust may have barely settled, but the ripples from this clash will echo far beyond July 19th. Trainers and fighters will dissect every exchange, debating whether youth or guile held sway. Gyms will fill with hopeful contenders, each convinced they've unlocked the secret code hidden in Pacquiao's footwork or Barrios' burst.
I think this fight goes into deep water. I think we go past 6 rounds. I think it'll be a fight.
Beyond technique, this bout underscores boxing's unspoken rule: every generation must prove itself. Legends rise only when tested by fresh challengers, and newcomers earn their stripes by standing toe-to-toe with icons. The torch doesn't pass quietly. It ignites new flames in those audacious enough to reach for it.
I fight for the beginning, and it will slow down slightly. So I think this fight goes into deep water.
Fans hungry for drama got their fill. Social feeds will flood with highlight reels, breakdowns, and hot takes. Yet real growth happens offline, when young fighters lace gloves at dawn, shadowboxing to the rhythm of their own hearts rather than chasing trends. This fight reminds us that true mastery demands repetition, sweat, and a stubborn refusal to quit.
Mario Barrios is no stepping stone, no farewell tour opponent. He's a fighter in his...
Conor Benn's verdict serves as a roadmap. Respect history, but never fear to challenge it. He showed that analysis needn't be dry. It can crackle with wit while cutting straight to the bone. His critique will inspire commentators to dig deeper, to look beyond surface hype and question every proclamation.
Sharp, hungry, and fueled by family, culture, and perhaps the greatest ally.
Looking ahead, Manny Pacquiao's legacy stands taller still. His resilient spirit proves age is more number than limit. Barrios, regardless of outcome, steps into a transformed career, disciplined now by the wisdom of shared combat. Both men walk away changed, and boxing stands stronger for it.
Father Time.
He's a legend, he's fought everybody, but at the end of the day, man.
So what's next? Keep your eyes on Conor Benn's own path as he gears up to stake his claim on the throne. Remember, every great fight doesn't end at the bell. It sparks new challenges, fresh rivalries, and another chapter waiting to be written. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe for more unfiltered breakdowns, hit like if you live for the sweet science, and drop a comment with your bold prediction for Benn's next move.